We're going to do a top 10 countdown today. Anger management for dads. I did a similar video, anger management for moms, months ago. Dads, after you watch this short video, you're going to have a clear idea how to handle this. The top 10 things that you can do. Let's start with number 10. First, understand anger, what it is, where it comes from, how it works. This puts you in a position of power. I call this metacognition, okay? Cognition is thinking. Metacognition is a higher level. It's thinking about thinking. When you think about your own thinking, it creates a little space, and in that space is where choice exists. If you're feeling a lot of anger and you're not thinking about your thinking, you don't have any choice in the matter. It's going to continue. Here's the quick rundown on anger. There is a limbic system, that's a part of your brain, response to threat. That response is what we call the fight or flight response. You've felt this before, haven't you? Where you get just a little surge and there's chemicals involved, okay? You need to understand that as well. This anger is your body reacting to a perceived threat. Now, is it really a threat? Doesn't matter. As long as it's perceived, it works. And it kicks in these chemicals that have us go into the fight or flight response. Anger is that fight or flight response. Understanding that helps you to do some things about it. There's some things that you can do to calm your brain, for example, and to get the chemicals to flush out of your system. So understand anger, what it is, what causes it. That's number 10. Coming in at number 9, take care of yourself. This supports what we already know. If you're into a fight or flight response, you have to be able to take care of yourself physiologically. I'm talking really basic stuff, like get enough sleep. Make sure you've got some exercise going on. Physical activity is an important way to manage anger and stress. Eating a balanced diet, having regular time set aside for prayer, meditation, consciousness, self-awareness. Those kinds of things are how you take care of yourself. That's enormously important when we're talking about anger management. And leads us right into number 8. Take care of the team. What team? Your team. You don't have to do this alone. You've got people around you who can support you. And sometimes our anger comes from a feeling of frustration or being overwhelmed. Can you relate to this? You're not alone. Take care of your team. If you're married, that means your spouse. If you're in an extended family situation, it means your extended family. It means the people that you work with, the people in your community. It's doctors and therapists and other counselors or advisors that you bring onto your team. You've got this amazing team. I'm on your team because you're here on the channel. So you take care of your team because that becomes the support that does 2 things for you. Number 1, it provides resources that you can't come up with on your own. Oh, that's pretty important. And number 2, it puts you in a position where psychologically you get to let go of some of the feelings of being overwhelmed because you know that you've got this team around you. Take care of the team. Now, let's go to number 7. Learn something about child development. You'll notice in the title, this is anger management for dads. That means you probably got some kids, right? What are these children? Who are they? How do they operate? How do they think? What are they like? Most of the things that kids do are typical for kids. But as adults, we get to thinking in different terms. Like, well, they should know this or they should understand that. Really? Maybe not. Developmentally, they may not be there yet. For you to learn some child development helps you to have the kind of empathy and understanding and less anger and frustration because this is just what kids do. I've had so many dads ask me, why is my kid doing that? And I'm thinking, because he's a kid, right? Why is my teenager acting this way? Probably because he's a teenager. So learn about that child development. What's typical? What's expected? And there's some other videos here on the channel, especially on the positive parenting playlist. You get into that, you're going to find all kinds of topics that are going to help. So learn some things about child development. That's number 7. Now, coming in at number 6, we're going to get psychological here, okay? So stay with me. Things are exactly as they should be. I said psychological. That sounds philosophical, right? And maybe that sounds like psychobabble BS to you for just a minute. But stay with it for a second. For you to think that things are not the way they should be, this isn't how it should be, do you see what kind of feelings that triggers? What if you were to think differently? Oh, you know what? This is exactly as it should be. Incidentally, that's one of the reasons I gave you number 7, so that you learn about child development and you learn that what your kid is doing is exactly what kids that age do. Right? This is exactly as it should be. Now, whether you agree with that or believe that or not, think about how you feel if you believe that. If you really believe, yeah, things are exactly as they should be, you feel differently than you do if you're hanging on to that position that, you know, this isn't how it should be. Anger management, this one has to do with attacking the very trigger of that anger, that thought that things are not the way that they should be. Switch that up, you got a whole different game. And now we're down to the top 5. So let's take on number 5 next. Enjoy the journey. This is an adventure. This is a journey. Enjoy it. I believe that life is to be enjoyed. It's not that you have to tolerate and put up with and somehow endure this time when you got these little kids running around. Enjoy the journey. Find what it is in all of this chaos that is meaningful and powerful for you. Why are you doing this in the first place? You know, and I know everybody's got different answers for that. But check in with your own answers for that. Why are you here? And if it's not to have some joy, then why did you get this family going in the first place? Right? Enjoy the journey. Now, as we move even higher on the list, moving up to number 4, keep the perspective. Perspective is a choice. And you've probably heard forever that happiness is a choice, right? Which can be totally irritating and annoying depending on who's saying it. But this is why that is psychologically true. We get to choose our position. Now, we don't always get to choose what happens. Sometimes the circumstances in our life just happen. You've heard the phrase, it is what it is, right? Does that just annoy you sometimes? Depends on who's saying it and why. But all it means is the way things are. Without changing anything, can we take what it is and put ourselves in a positive perspective about it? For example, when we say, oh, this isn't how it should be, you know, like we were talking about just a minute ago. Well, really? Do you know for sure that things are not the way they should be? Like you've got some cosmic connection to the grand calendar of all things that says, no, this isn't how it should be. No, you don't know that for sure. Well, do you know for sure that it is the way that it should be? Like you've got that same cosmic connection to the grand plan. No, you don't know, but you're taking a position about that. And it doesn't mean that your position is right. As you turn on the metacognition, as you think about your thinking and realize that you are taking a position, we've all got just enough destructive pride to know that we're right. Check in with that for a minute. It's not that we think we're right. We know we're right. And that has us hanging on to our position almost jealously, almost insistently that this is how it is. Well, you don't know. So instead of clinging to our position, our perspective, the way it exists, what if we were to loosen up our grip on that just a little bit? Let go, back off, be open rather than right, and then be open to a new perspective. That this is exactly as it should be. That my life is good. That my kids are right on schedule. And so am I. Wow. That's a game changer, folks. So tune into that and just see how that resonates with you as a dad. Now we're getting to the top 3. And these are so powerful. Number 3 on our top 10 list today. Remember who they are. They who? Your kids. Kids are interesting because it's not that they can become people someday. They already are people. They are individuals with names and personalities and ideas. Now they're immature, sure, but they're already people. And children, as they grow up, become the next generation that's going to run the whole show. And what is your kid going to do? I don't know, be the president? Possibly. Run the community? Run a company? Be a husband? Be a father? Be a mother? Be a wife? Yeah, see, these little kids are already people. And this is their childhood. And we have a whole lot to do with how they're going to experience this childhood. That's huge. When we keep that perspective and remember who they are. And why are you the dad? Well, I don't know. Probably because you showed up on earth before they did. What if you had been born this year instead of 30 years ago? Well, then maybe somebody else would. You see, I don't know. I don't know why I get to be their dad. And I get to be their son. There's generations on both sides of me. I just show up in the middle of all of this. So there's nothing special about you that makes you the dad. And they are people too, and this is their childhood. Let that sink in just enough that you can look at your children a little differently. You're not here to tolerate them. You're here to be their dad. Remember who they are. Now, the other thing I want you to remember takes us to number 2 on our list. Coming in at number 2 on our top 10 today, remember your job. By this I mean to love them. Your job is to love them no matter what and even if. Tune in with that for just a second and see what kind of relief that brings into your own heart and mind. If that's your job, you can do that, can't you? Notice that when you get frustrated, irritated, annoyed, upset, angry, it's because you think your job is to make sure that they whatever and they're not doing it. Do you see it? It's not your job. If you think it's your job, you're fired. I'm taking you off of that job. I'm putting you right back on your main job, which is to love them. No matter what, and even if you can always do that. Even if they're making a mess or disobeying you, you can still love them. Remember, that's your job, your primary job. You get back to that, and the anger starts to fade away. That brings us right up to number 1. Remember who you are. Now, we've touched on this all along. I want you to remember that you are their father. And it's not because you qualified or applied for the job. It's because of whatever circumstances led you to this point, you are their father. You're the only one they've got. And I say that with an acknowledgement that there are other fathers that show up in our lives. Sometimes there's a stepfather. Sometimes there's a coach. Sometimes there's a mentor who comes and provides a fatherly figure. And you might be filling some of those roles for kids too. It's huge. That's important. You remember who you are. You are their father. And you got to show up. You got to show up in a way that is honorable and courageous and powerful and bold and humble and loving. And I could add all kinds of other fun adjectives to that. Remember who you are. I saw a video recently, a friend of mine shared this with me, where it gives that perspective. And this has a little bit of a spiritual touch to it as well, which will reveal some things about me and my beliefs and my faith. I would love to share that with you. And the card that you can click on right up here is going to link you to that video. It's called Earthly Fathers, Heavenly Fathers, and some parallels that are there. But it helps me to have that perspective. to keep in mind who we are. I'm so glad that you found this video, this channel. If you're new to our channel, please click subscribe right here, and we'll keep coming with some good content.
Standing